don't care about science, that's okay, because AI is going to touch everything else as well. Whatever path you choose, AI will become part of how work is done. I know what many of you are feeling about that. I can hear you. There is a fear. There is a fear in your generation that the future has already been written, that the machines are coming, that the jobs are evaporating, that the climate is breaking, that politics is fractured, and that you are inheriting a mess that you did not create. And I understand that fear. The question is not whether AI will shape the world, it will. The question is whether you will help shape artificial intelligence. We do not know the precise contours of what this transformation will look like. But what we do know is it will require each of us to adapt in ways that we cannot yet anticipate. Because on balance, I am deeply optimistic, and I believe that you should be as well.
People eat too much meat.
What's even scarier about everything he even said was the fact that it sounds like he's telling us that we're going to be serving AI. He might be somewhere on the island, sipping them little teas with the umbrellas in it, just minding his business, living his best life, maybe even in a new body. You know, they be putting that in front of us so much, they probably could jump into a new body. He probably already got his body planned out. Who knows?
Right, and if they were to cut down on their consumption on meat, then they would it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, you know, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy, I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So, you know, but so here's the thought, right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have these intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance. And some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you will become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
What's that? Oh, a farmer catches a helicopter dropping thousands, if not millions of ticks into his farm, and things are getting a little bit wild. Tell me more! This is wild. A farmer's going out, kind of going through his land, and he notices a helicopter coming up, and it starts to drop all these ticks. So that video is going viral and circulating right now because he caught people in the act of doing this. The helicopter hurried and flew away, but things picked up a little bit quickly. After a few days of these ticks being around, the man actually started to find certain things that were dead on his property from these ticks. For example, he actually came across a moose on his property that was killed by these ticks. Now, there were people saying that this wasn't actually happening and that these were tick boxes that were showing up on farmland. But that's not what was happening. They're actually dropping thousands of ticks into these farmers' fields, and now they're finding them and catching them doing it.
If a tick bites you and embeds itself into your skin, most people think you should just go ahead and pull it out. But if the tick is fully in your skin, this can actually cause the body to break off, leaving its head stuck inside. Instead, you should use tweezers to grasp the tick as close to the skin's surface as possible. Then slowly pull the tick upwards with even pressure. How much blood could a tick drink before it pops? At first, it's tiny, but as it drinks, its body stretches like a balloon, and it can inflate up to 50 times its normal size. But if the tick kept drinking, the pressure would build as it swells up to the size of a grape, and then eventually bursts. Now, leeches can grow up to 11 times bigger, around 17 inches when fully engorged. But if they drink too much, their stretched out bodies split open and they die. When a female tick bites you, it cuts into your skin and anchors itself with a barbed piece of its mouth. Then it injects a numbing chemical through its saliva, allowing it to stay undetected. This saliva also prevents your blood from clotting, which keeps a steady flow into the tick's mouth. Over several days, the tick consumes so much blood that it grows to several times its original size. And once it's fully engorged, it detaches, falls off, and eventually starts laying eggs.
That is so disgusting and at the same time scary. Heard that some government made these in the lab somewhere on the island close to its citizens. And that's what's worrisome. Like, how far ahead have these guys or gals been thinking, planning? They've probably been wanting to make artificial stuff. They probably want that good stuff for them. Who knows? It's very alarming.
Supreme Creator created the Anunnaki, Elohim, the heaven and the earth.
That is, were the Elohim the sons of the sons of God, or were the Elohim
They were the
sons of
Anunnaki,
God?
and it is their sons born on earth who married the daughters of Adam.
So then we could say then what you're saying is the Elohim were